Hey guys, so I just wanted to, hop in here and talk about a pretty silly, topic, I guess. I mean, I was just writing this list, didn't realize that I had this many bad experiences with women, despite me not being with like almost any of them at all. Have not been with a lot at all whatsoever. But obviously, some of these are kind of goofy, and there's a lot of nuance in this. Obviously, I don't want to like be so black and white about it. But these are the types of women that like I wouldn't date. I would definitely stay away from like for the rest of my life, and I definitely recommend that you do the same for sure. But I think the first one that I want to go over is any woman with a crazy hairstyle or color. So like I mean black is okay, hair color wise and everything. Like I have black hair too. I'm not gonna sit here and diss that, but I'd say purple is where we draw the line, or if it's anything other than black. Actually, I'm just gonna say that anything other than black hair color, and it's just they're crazy. Stay away from them. Definitely recommend. I never met a good one that had like some crazy hair color or something wrong with them. And the next one we have is women who spend their entire day, like the entire time that they're awake, on TikTok, right? So, like, why would you want to ever talk to a girl? You have to try to compete, where you have to try to compete with their phone. Like, that's just constant, um, dopamine rush for them. You can't compete with that. They're scrolling all day, every single day. Don't even try it. If and like, who wants to talk to anybody that doesn't have any hobbies anyway? I mean, like, if you're sitting there talking, like, if she only spends all of her time on TikTok, come on. And this one is not talked about enough. Definitely not. Definitely something that nobody even thinks to watch out for. But and there's a couple on here that are kind of like beat like a dead horse that I'll be talking. I won't spend a lot of time on those because you know obviously you've already heard this stuff probably online somewhere or something. But this one is I like all kinds of music. You need to run if she says this. No one on the planet Earth likes every kind of music. Like I like rock. Recently started getting into like rap, I guess, but like or hip hop. But I do not like country. And if somebody's gonna sit there and say that they like everything, I don't know. Like they're already lying to you. I don't know, but they also just happen to have like a crazy tendency. So I don't really like. I don't know why this is. I don't know if there's studies on this or if this is like a scientifically proven thing. But I can tell you that I have seen it with my own two eyes on multiple occasions where a girl has said this and she turned out to be an absolute nut. So, just watch out for that. Um, this is another one. Well, this is kind of covered. Women with no hobbies or pastime other than social media. Um, Kind of already covered that with the TikTok thing, I guess. But another one that I cannot handle that I have experience with, I actually have yet to not experience this with women. They're all like this so far, and it really, bugs me. But women who are loud in restaurants slash no spatial awareness, that is a very big one where, like, no, they cannot keep the peace in a restaurant, and I can't stand that. Like, they're just overly loud, talking at, like, well above a conversation level. And like everybody else is sitting in the restaurant, and most of the girls that I've been with, I don't know if it's because I just somehow attract crazy women, but they always seem to have a problem with like everything. So you're like sitting in the restaurant and like like, oh, she told me this and I said that, and everybody around you is just sitting there and you can like see them, glancing over at you, and you're like, lady, can you please, keep it down so that, not everybody knows your business. But it seems like like I said, I have yet to not experience that. So there is definitely like, as like a big issue with women, I guess. Or, I mean, maybe it's something that I notice. I don't know. you'll have to let me know down in the comments. But that's just with every woman that I've met so far. And the women who only post their face, they're always going to be very big. Like, you don't just, hide that, or you don't just hide your body for like no good reason, right? Even though I'm not like the most attractive or whatever, I don't have like huge muscles, or like you can't see my abs, but like I'm not fat, right? I used to be fat, but I lost like 100 pounds. I'm good now. But, I didn't put all, sorry, I was saying I didn't put all that work. Something happened with my mic. Saying I didn't put all that work, into losing weight for nothing. And it seems like the only women that I tracked tend to be a little on the heavier side, I guess, But yeah, just stay away from those women that, only post their face pictures, because just know, like, nobody is going to hide their body for no good reason, unless they're like, there's some major issue. So yeah, just watch out for it. And then there's the women who their parents just treat you borderline like a threat, like, oh, you better not hurt my daughter, I'll shoot you. Like, just trying to scare you and haze you. I can tell you right now, guys, don't ever sit there and go through that. If she has a family like that, they can say whatever. Oh, like, she'll be talking to him after you ghosted her, or, however you decide to handle it. And, they'll be like, oh, well, was he scared of me or something? Dude, don't even worry about that, because who wants to, be with a girl whose parents like that, right? So that's another thing to watch out for. I've definitely been through that, and I actually have like a crazy thing with, that kind of thing. I think I might get into that on my next video. It was this one girl with crazy parents, man. Like, just crazy. I actually have two of those stories where like the woman had like crazy parents. But then, sometimes they have really nice parents, and it weren't that bad, the ones that had nice parents. It's like, obviously if they have nice parents, a little bit of that's gonna like rub off on them. So, that's a plus. If they have nice parents, definitely keep that in mind. That'd be a good thing. But watch out for the crazy ones, right? So, I think another one, and this one might be a little tad bit controversial, I guess, because it sounds crazy and controlling, but women who wear leggings, I don't ever ask a girl who wears leggings for her number. Some girls wear them because they're comfortable or whatever, but like, I have friends that are women, they say that, that shit's like actually kind of uncomfortable to wear, like, 'cause it's tight, I guess. But the main reasoning for this, and there's nuance in it too, but the main reasoning for it is that, like, if a girl's going out, like, just showing their ass, out in public like that, wearing the tightest leggings you've ever seen, or like being in the gym with a sports bra, right? It's a sports bra, you're supposed to wear a shirt with that. And these girls go wearing nothing else but just a sports bra and some leggings. And then they want to call every dude a creep whenever they happen to get looked at on. And most of the time it's by accident. Like, you don't even mean to look at them. Like, you'll accidentally look at them, and you're like, shit, did she just see me looking at her? But like, I was just looking around the room. I wasn't actually looking at you, lady. So yeah, just don't even go for these women. I mean, like, they're showing off before you've even, like, leaving pretty much nothing up to the imagination before you've even tried to talk to them, right? You've only seen them from like across the mall or something. So, just watch out for them. This one, it's kind of beat like a dead horse, so I'm not going to spend really any amount of time on it. But, you're the first guy to treat me right. That whole thing. Obviously, we've seen that online. It's popular on TikTok right now, whatever. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Because you've already heard it. But here we are, we're moving into the list of, and this one's way shorter than the last one. But these are the women that can be okay, but I personally will always stay away from if I have the chance. Women who smoke weed. Personally, I don't smoke weed. I don't care whenever anybody else does it. But whenever I see a woman that, like, is doing that stuff, it's just like the most unattractive thing ever, right? And then I also know that they're like the laziest, and I don't know. And they always fiend for it. They say like, I can quit whenever I want to. I know that's not true. I don't know why, but it's just so unattractive to me. I can't stand it, even though I don't actually care whenever people do that stuff around me. Like, if it's a woman that I'm interested in and I see her like smoking weed or something, and then like coughing, I think that's like honestly probably one of the like the sorry, I mean my mic keeps screwing up. Probably one of the most unattractive things I've ever seen. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why, but it's just seeing them coughing and everything. Like I said, it's just can't do it. Um, Another one is women who need to vape constantly. I really can't stand this when I think vaping or smoking cigarettes or anything like that is probably the most unattractive thing ever. Like I was with this one girl, I'm not gonna say don't knock it till you try it, but I was with this one girl, and she was smoking cigarettes, and she was like, "Hey, do you care if I smoke this in your car?" Like, me, I don't care, but she like left ashes all in my seat too, and I just couldn't handle the smoking either, and that just kind of ended up not being ideal, right? To say the least. I mean, there's still ashes in my seat. Like, I still find sometimes, ugh. And then the smell of it, too. Like, she was smoking cheap cigarettes. Like, the cheapest you can get, like some Lucky Strikes or some shit, man. Like, ugh. Oh, God, dude. It was so bad. Um, yeah, don't, just stay away from it, especially if you're not a smoker, because I'm not a smoker. I'm not really a drinker or anything like that. I guess I'm a good boy, I guess. I don't know. But, I just don't do that stuff, so. It's, especially does not strike a chord with me, especially because of that. But I think another one is, women with TikTok humor. They will ghost you. I've never not been ghosted by some girl with TikTok humor, and I mean like if I can find some examples, I'll post some examples on screen. Just find those like random images funny. You'll see them in TikTok comments, and don't mistake me for somebody that does spend all their time on TikTok because I rarely ever do use TikTok. Um, but women with that type of humor that I've seen are like always absolutely terrible. I would also avoid them if you can, right? Um, I got a few honorable mentions in mind. These ones have also been kind of, beat like a dead horse and everything. You've probably heard these. These are honestly a given, you know. Women who can't get over their ex. Personally, well, I guess kind of the first girlfriend I had. But like this hasn't been a super big one that I run into that often. So I mean, but do watch out for it when it happens because if they're not over their ex, they're not ready for you. And honestly, they're probably not, good for you at all. Uh Women with no accountability, right? Like they can't be mature in any kind of, conversation or if like there's a problem, they immediately shift the blame to something else. And you don't want that. Like if nothing could ever be their fault, especially whenever you hear them talking and they're talking bad about like a lot of the situations they've been in and like everything. They're like, oh well, this guy did this to me and I told him this and this girl did this and everybody's out to get me. Like if they talk kind of like that, you just run because you're not going to get far with that at all. And it's honestly just going to be more of a mental hassle on you than it's going to be worth your time. Like, I mean, really, none of these are worth your time. Personally don't think I'm going to ever chase women because, I mean, they're kind of a waste of time for me. But, just watch out for that. The women with no accountability, especially whenever they're the victim in every story. If that's like the first thing you notice, you should especially really make sure to get out of there at that point. I think another one, any woman with a guy friend, obviously. I mean, I have some women that are friends. They're lesbians, so I can't really, speak on this, but it is definitely a helpful thing to have. But if it's just like a regular, no regular woman, it's just gonna be a friend, like friends with a bunch of guys. That's just absolutely weird. And like, he's like a brother to me, or he's gay. Just go ahead and ghost her. Just pack it up, bro. Just pack it up, kick rocks, get on with your life, find a girl that's better for you. You don't need to be dealing with this stuff. And I think that's like a big thing is like a lot of these dudes out here, they don't realize that like you don't actually have to deal with a lot of this stuff. If you want out of something so bad, you can just ghost them. Really, I mean, it's not that hard. And you're going to feel bad about it. I know I do. I mean, anybody with a conscience is going to. But, no one should have to put up with some of the shit that these girls put these guys through. Especially with like the crazy parents, crazy exes or anything like that. I mean, her being crazy in general. Like, just know, as a dude, you don't have to put up with that shit, man. Just move on with your life. But, I just wanted to hop in here and talk for a little bit. If anybody's listening, thank you for stopping by. Leave some comments, some likes, whatever. I do plan on making some more videos. But, I think this needed to be talked about because I think a lot of the stuff that I've talked about in this video is something that, like, not enough people talk about. Because, I mean, there's like one or two things in there that have been, beat like a dead horse. You've heard that stuff online. I don't want to sit there and, like, spend too long on that kind of stuff. But, yeah, guys, I think that's just about it.